If you're over 50 and still drinking perfectly clean, plain water, you might be missing the one upgrade that makes hydration actually work for your circulation. Most guys grew up hearing the same advice on repeat. Drink more water, flush out toxins, stay hydrated, aim for 8 glasses a day. And listen, I'm not here to tell you hydration is useless. Hydration matters. Dehydration can absolutely make you feel sluggish, headachy, cranky, and weak. But here's the twist nobody explains clearly. After 50, the problem often isn't just not enough water. The problem is that your body's internal plumbing changes, and plain water alone doesn't address the chemistry that tells your blood vessels to open wide and deliver oxygen like they used to. So if you've been doing the responsible thing, carrying your bottle, sipping all day, and still feeling that afternoon crash, still feeling workouts take longer to recover from, still feeling your legs heavy on stairs, still feeling, I'm not the same guy I used to be, there's a reason. And it's not simply that you're weak or lazy or just getting old. Aging is real, but so is adaptation. And one of the most powerful levers you can pull is improving the signal that controls blood flow. That signal is nitric oxide. If you're over 50 and still drinking perfectly clean, plain water, you might be missing the one upgrade that makes hydration actually work for your circulation. Nitric oxide is not a steroid. It's not a stimulant. It's not magic. It's a molecule your body makes that basically acts like a message to your blood vessels. When nitric oxide is doing its job, your blood vessels relax. They widen. Blood flows smoothly. Oxygen delivery improves. Your muscles can work longer. Your brain feels sharper. Your heart doesn't have to fight as hard to push blood through tight pipes. You feel more alive. When nitric oxide is low, the opposite happens. Vessels tend to stay tighter. Circulation is less efficient. Your body can still function, but it's like driving with the parking brake slightly on. You can move, but everything costs more effort. Here's the key. After about 50, many men produce less nitric oxide than they used to. The lining of the blood vessels, the endothelium, doesn't function as strongly. Inflammation and oxidative stress rise. Lifestyle factors add up, sleep changes, stress changes, and the result is you may still be healthy on paper, but you feel like you're running on a lower battery. And this is where the plain water conversation matters. Water is the delivery system, but water isn't the signal. Water doesn't automatically give your body the raw materials to create nitric oxide. So the question becomes, what if you used water as a tool, not just to hydrate, but to support the nitric oxide pathways that power circulation? That's the idea behind what I'm going to call no water. Let me give you an analogy that makes this simple. Imagine your body is a factory. Water is electricity. You need it for everything, but electricity doesn't create the product by itself. You still need raw materials. You still need workers. You still need functioning machines. If you only provide electricity, but you don't provide the materials, the factory stays lit up, but production slows. That's why some men feel hydrated, yet still feel flat. They're drinking water, but their nitric oxide production line doesn't have enough inputs. And it's also dealing with more breakdown from stress, inflammation, and aging. So the strategy is twofold. First, give your body inputs to make more nitric oxide. Second, reduce how quickly nitric oxide gets destroyed. And you can do both with simple additions to water. I want to improve the original idea by giving you a clearer framework you can remember. Think of nitric oxide support as 3 pathways. Pathway 1 is the nitrate pathway. Pathway 2 is the amino acid pathway. Pathway 3 is the protection pathway. If you hit all 3, You usually get better results than doing just one. Now let's build it. Beetroot is famous for one reason: nitrates. Dietary nitrates can convert inside your body into nitrites and then into nitric oxide. This is powerful because it can help support nitric oxide even when the blood vessel lining isn't as youthful as it used to be. In other words, beets can act like a shortcut for nitric oxide. Now, I want to be honest. Beetroot is not a superhero cape. You won't drink one glass and suddenly run a marathon. But many people notice a meaningful difference in circulation and stamina, sometimes within hours, especially if they were low on nitric oxide support to begin with. And here's a nuance many videos ignore. Beetroot can be very helpful, but it's also not always comfortable for everyone. Some people get stomach upset. Some people don't like the earthy taste. Some people notice their urine turns pink or red. That can be alarming if you don't expect it, but it can happen with beets. It's called beeturia. It's usually harmless, but if you're unsure, talk to a clinician. How to use it in no water. Start low. The original content suggests 1 to 2 teaspoons in a large glass. That's a common approach, but you can start with 1 teaspoon or even half a teaspoon if you're sensitive. Mix it well. Drink it with food if your stomach is sensitive. And here's my commentary. Don't treat beetroot like a one-time trick. Treat it like a daily tool. Consistency is where it shines. Now let's build the second pathway: amino acids. Nitric oxide can also be produced from arginine, an amino acid your body uses to make nitric oxide. The problem is, if you take arginine straight, a lot of it gets broken down in digestion and the liver before it ever helps you. L-citrulline is often more effective because your body converts citrulline into arginine more steadily and more reliably. So instead of forcing arginine through the front door, citrulline quietly supplies it through the back door. That's why I like citrulline as a practical add-on. How to use it. A common range is about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon in water, depending on the product and serving size. Mix it in with your beet water. My personal take. If you're going to pick only one thing beyond hydration, citrulline is one of the most useful because it supports nitric oxide without relying entirely on the nitrate pathway. And if you're thinking, so do I need both beets and citrulline? You don't need both, but using both often feels better because they support nitric oxide from different angles. Now here's where most people stop too early. They focus only on producing nitric oxide. But nitric oxide is fragile. It gets broken down faster when oxidative stress is high. That can come from poor sleep, inflammation, smoking, excess alcohol, high stress, highly processed diets, and yes, simply aging. So if beets turn on the faucet and citrulline brings more supplies to the factory, you still need bodyguards to keep nitric oxide active longer. That's where pomegranate comes in. Pomegranate contains polyphenols and antioxidant compounds that can help protect nitric oxide availability and support blood vessel function. How to use it. You can use pomegranate powder or a measured extract according to the label. Many people add about a teaspoon of powder or about a tablespoon of a liquid concentrate, depending on the product. And here's the upgraded insight. Protection is the difference between I tried it once and this actually changed how I feel. Because if your nitric oxide is getting destroyed quickly, it's like filling a bathtub with the drain wide open. You can pour more in, but it won't accumulate. Protection helps you keep what you produce. Let's put this into a simple starter recipe. In a large glass of water, add beetroot powder, add pomegranate powder or extract, add L-citrulline powder, stir or shake until fully mixed. If the taste is too strong, add a squeeze of lemon. Lemon is not just flavor. It can be a nice addition because it supports a cleaner taste and pairs well with the red profile. Some people also find cold water makes it easier to drink. Now here's my suggestion for beginners. Don't start with the maximum of everything on day 1. Start with a half dose for the first 3 to 4 days, then adjust. Your goal is not to suffer through a health drink. Your goal is a habit you can do consistently, because consistency is what changes circulation. Timing is underrated. Most men are trying to fix the afternoon crash with coffee. Coffee can help, but it can also hide the real issue. Here are 2 useful times to use no water. First, in the morning. Second, in the early afternoon, before the slump hits. If you drink it right when you're already crashing, you're trying to rescue the day late. If you drink it earlier, you're supporting blood flow before the crash begins. Now, do you need 2 glasses per day? Not necessarily. Start with 1 glass in the morning for 2 weeks. Pay attention to real markers. Do stairs feel easier? Do your hands feel warmer? Do workouts feel less draggy? Does your mind feel clearer in the late morning? Is your afternoon crash less intense? If those are improving, you're on a good track. The original content mentions several extra boosters. I want to reorganize them so you can actually decide what to try without turning this into a chemistry experiment. Category 1, extra nitrate support. Leafy greens powder like spinach or kale can add more nitrates plus micronutrients. Category 2, endothelial support. Pine bark extract is often discussed for vascular support and endothelial function. Category 3, anti-inflammatory support. Ginger can support circulation indirectly by supporting inflammatory balance. Category 4, vessel relaxation support. Hibiscus is commonly used in teas and can support vascular relaxation for some people. Category 5, performance and recovery support. Cocoa flavanols can support vascular flexibility. Tart cherry is often used for recovery and sleep support. But here's my advice. Don't add 6 things at once. Pick 1 core recipe first. Then, if you want to experiment, add only 1 new ingredient for a week and see how you respond. Because if you change everything at once, you won't know what helped and what hurt. Let's be responsible here. If you have low blood pressure, take blood pressure medication, take nitrates for chest pain, take PDE5 inhibitors, have kidney disease, have a history of kidney stones, or you're on significant medications, you should talk to your clinician before you start high-dose nitrate or supplement routines. Also, if you're prone to reflux or stomach sensitivity, start low and drink with food. This is educational content, not a prescription. Your body is unique. But for many healthy adults, food-based strategies like these can be a helpful part of a bigger lifestyle approach. Now let me add the most important commentary. Nitric oxide support works best when you stop sabotaging it. Because you can drink the perfect NO water and still feel meh if these basics are missing. Sleep quality, daily movement, protein intake, stress management, high blood sugar spikes, smoking or heavy alcohol, chronic dehydration from diuretics or excessive caffeine. So I want you to think of NO water as an upgrade, but not a replacement for the foundation. In fact, here's a powerful mindset shift. Use NO water as your morning ritual that triggers healthier behavior all day. When you start the day with something intentional, you're more likely to walk, eat better, and manage stress. And those habits protect nitric oxide too. Let me give you a realistic scenario. A man in his early 60s tells me, I drink water all day. I walk most mornings, but by 2 p.m., my energy collapses. My legs feel heavy, my brain feels foggy, and I'm starting to wonder if this is just how life is now. That's a common story. And the hardest part isn't the tiredness, it's the identity shift. The quiet fear that the best version of you is behind you. So we try something simple for a few weeks. Not a complicated protocol. Not a dozen supplements. Just this. Use water as a delivery system for nitric oxide support. 1 glass in the morning, optionally 1 in the early afternoon. And then we track real-world outcomes. How fast does the afternoon crash show up now? How does recovery feel after activity? Is the morning energy more stable? Is the mood better? And when it works, here's what changes first. Not abs, not superhero strength. The first change is this. You feel like you have more go in your system again. You stop bracing yourself for the crash. You feel more capable, more steady, more present. That's the win. Because when energy returns, confidence tends to follow. I want you to remember this line because it's the whole point. Don't just hydrate to get by. Hydrate to support the chemistry that keeps you strong. Water is not the enemy. Plain water is not bad. But if plain water is the only tool you're using after 50, you may be leaving circulation support on the table. And circulation is not vanity. It's brain function. It's heart support. It's recovery. It's stamina. It's mood. It's the ability to feel like yourself. Here's what I want you to do. For the next 14 days, run a simple experiment. Morning. 1 large glass of water upgraded with beetroot powder, pomegranate, L-citrulline. Start with a smaller amount. Increase slowly. Optional. A second glass early afternoon if you still crash. Then keep notes on 3 things. Afternoon energy, warmth in hands and feet, recovery after activity. If you notice improvements, you've learned something powerful. Your body was not broken. It just needed better inputs. Now next time, we're going to connect this to something most men completely overlook. Your hydration timing and your nighttime bathroom trips. Because the way you drink during the day can silently wreck your sleep and your hormones at night. So if you've been waking up at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. to pee, you'll want the next video. Because fixing circulation is great, but fixing sleep is what makes the results stick. Before you go, comment 1 word for me. Beets, pomegranate, or citrulline. Which one would you try first? And if you want more simple, evidence-informed upgrades for men over 50, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.